Looks like your contact with the Lotus Assassins will be bad for your reputation, but good for our goal.
I can't agree with this. You don't know what you're getting into. You don't know the danger they represent.
Really? What did you see while hiding in your swamp? I've observed Death's Hand for years, both in the palace and elsewhere.
You could have 4 faces and a different name and wardrobe for each, and you still wouldn't understand. Death's Hand is not what he seems.
Then what, pray tell, is he?
I don't know, but his power does not come from study or skill. He is something darker, and we should not be trying to enter his lair.
It sounds like Sagacious Zoo wants to go back into hiding. Or perhaps the nursery? Pay no attention, not everyone is as weak as he is.
Sagacious Zoo will do what I say when the time comes.
You don't know what they are capable of.
The matter is settled. Go sulk in the corner like you're accustomed to doing.
This is not helping anything. Are we any closer to getting to the Lotus Assassins so this accursed woman will help us find Master Li?
Oh, she spits fire at last. Now I see how the child left her little village. She has some spirit in her after all. And surprisingly, she's right. You've made contact with the Lotus Assassins, but haven't shown them why they need to fully accept you. The Inquisitor has a task for you to prove your worth. Get to it and show him why you should be recruited. You could also seek out the Executioner in the arena. He would be interested in your skill as a combatant.
Let's get to it then.
I wish you luck. Once you have gained the trust of the Lotus Assassins, we will plan how to proceed.
Yes? What do you need? I'd like to get that business with Minister Shang out of the way.
She worries about the poor minister, a man she would despise in any other circumstance.
Do you want to talk? Your feelings are very important to me.
I don't want to seem ungrateful for her help, but having Silk Fox here is causing me some concern. I mean, she is the daughter of the Emperor, and we do not know his role in Master Li's capture. Can she be trusted?
What concerns you? She has shown only goodwill.
To you, perhaps, but not to me. I think I am perceived as a rival, but no one has told me what the game is.
Downstar, she's jealous of you.
The princess? The daughter of the Emperor is jealous of me? I think the size of our task has addled your senses. What could I possibly have that would make her jealous? What does a woman from the borderlands have that the princess herself does not?
My interest?
What? I'm sorry. You caught me off guard for a moment.
You didn't know? Alfred can't so often laugh.
You have always been a good friend to me, but I never meant... I mean, I couldn't... No, I should have more control over this. This is too uncertain. You can't manipulate me into admitting something like this. Not when you could leave whenever you want.
You fear the end of what has barely begun. Where does this reluctance come from?
I prefer to have more control over myself, and as much control over what goes on around me as possible. Silk Fox, or whatever she wants to be called, is an unknown I can't compensate for. I can't stay in balance if I don't know what she represents. You and I, we talk and share thoughts, but she forces me to consider where that might lead, both good and bad. I'm not ready for that.
So Silk Fox forces you to consider where our talks might lead. I will have to thank her.
Don't you dare! Oh, you tease so much, I don't know what to do with you. You've become so different since we left Two Rivers. Or perhaps it is me. For all the trouble we face, I feel like a weight is lifting. I think we will have a great deal more to discuss in the coming days. I am looking forward to it. Until then, thank you for being so understanding. Master Li was right. You are special.
See you later.
Very well, but we should get that business with Minister Shang out of the way.
Yes, yes, what can I do for you? Busy, busy. No time for chatty.
Tell me about yourself. I want to learn more about you.
I found my way to Tien's Landing quite by accident. A very big accident. A few wealthy merchants lost some, property, and I almost lost my hat and my head. Gao the Greater heard about my inventions and bribed some officials to effect my release. I thought I had found a nice rich benefactor, but I was locked away in his lair. He gave me a nice workshop, but he really was a fool. I showed him my wind map. He didn't care where it led. He was only interested in his slaves.
You have a wind map? Where to?
It shows where I've been, not where I'm going, I think. I made it on my journey to, here. But I don't quite remember where I was traveling from. Not good. It seems to me I left something, a clue for myself, but I'm not sure why I'd need to. I don't suppose you'd be interested in taking a short trip back the way I came?
Do you have any idea where this wind map leads?
None. And I am very good at remembering things. At least I think I am. I can't remember for certain. The map could lead anywhere, so we should let it.
Alright, let's go.
Well, let's see then. It must lead to where I was last, which would be the ideal place to go first. Keep an eye out. I don't know why my tracks were covered, but I do tend to incur the occasional death threat. The craters are remarkably unappreciated. This looks familiar. Keep going. I have the urge to build something. There are memories in the route we are flying. Keep going. I see patterns, schematics. Keep going. I'll hammer it out. Almost there. Just a few more pieces to figure out. Our flight was great fun. Lots of explosions. But what does it mean? I think it's a clue. I hid something in my head because I was going to lose my memory, I think. One thing for certain, there was no destination. We ended where we began. The route was the important part. Let me show you what it inspired me to make. I'm not sure what it is, but it has a lever on it that is begging to be pulled.
Are you sure this is safe?
There's only one way to find out. Well, there's probably one or two, but who has time to dig an artillery trench? Here we go. And nothing. Right? We're not dead, I think. That is decidedly disappointing. I was expecting something. I must still need a part I can't remember. I need some time to think, to get my brain straightened out. This is most intriguing and infuriating. Give me some time.
Alright. See you later then.
Yes. I'll keep at my plans for the dragonfly. Perhaps a sling for carrying oxen? The industry could use some automation. A dying breed, the ox carrier.
What do you want?
Tell me something about your past.
I remember one time I was hired by two warring clans. They were going to discuss a peace treaty, and they wanted me to make sure things didn't get out of hand. A bunch of fights broke out in the first few days, but after I'd killed a few dozen of their clansmen, they settled down. That's when things got boring. The leaders took the next 3 days to talk, and if they hadn't let me dip into their wine stocks, I might have snapped sooner than I did.
I'm surprised you lasted that long.
The clan leaders were agreed on peace except for one thing, Jinlo, a beautiful clanswoman. Both leaders wanted her and neither would give her up. After 5 days, it looked like the peace would fall apart. It looked like the two leaders were about to come to blows over Jinlo, so I stepped in. It was my job to stop them from fighting, so I cleaved the wench in two and told them each to take a half. Seemed like a good idea at the time.
You're a brute, Whirlwind. How could you do it?
It was easy. She was small, and my blades are extremely sharp. But it didn't really help, though. They weren't too happy with my decision. Everyone turned on me. Of course, they all died, but they gave it a good effort. I don't know what they were so upset about. Better a quick death by the sword than the prolonged agony of your heart being ripped from your chest and thrown to the dogs.
Well, that's it for now.
Whatever.
My business is finished. I'm finished. What? Oh, you're the one with the flyer, aren't you? Forgive my impertinence, but do you own that flyer, perhaps?
Who are you and why do you want to know?
I am Hingu, a mechanic and a businessman. I supply upgrades to people fortunate enough to have flyers. However, I've had some trouble attaining parts of late. My previous associate went on a trip to retrieve valuable parts and never returned.
And now you want me to help you, I suppose.
I need someone brave, someone who is a capable pilot. The missions I have are dangerous, but the rewards are worth it. I will pay you good silver, and I can sell you parts for your flyer, to make it better.
What? Make it better? This is the finest ship of its kind. I should know. I made it. You're just a fix-it man. What would you know about ships?
I have been working on flyers since they first started appearing in the Empire. I take these rickety contraptions and make them into something amazing.
Rickety? There has never been a flyer more solid than the marvelous dragonfly. Rickety? Your wits are the only thing rickety around here.
Chang's right. This flyer is the best of its kind.
As you say, all the more reason to work with me. If your flyer is truly that good, you'll have no problems. Very few at least. I have some supplies in the North Provinces that I need to pick up immediately. We've had trouble with bandits up there, so it might be tricky. If you could bring me those supplies, I'd have the parts necessary to upgrade your flyer. What do you say?
You've got a deal.
Very good. Here's your wind map. It'll show you where to go. I'll also pay extra if you get rid of those bandits plaguing the area.
Careful now, you'll dent something.
You have returned, and in one piece, I see. Not bad. You brought back the supplies and you took out a few bandits on your way. You can have a little bit extra for that. There were some great flyer parts among those supplies. Would you like to have a look at them? Or if you'd prefer, I could tell you about another mission I have for you.
Let me see your upgrades.
Yes, of course. I have some very interesting items now.
Want to accuse you of doing this, Sung Tao? Good day, sir. Are you the new investigator I sent for? No, I can tell from your attire that you're not from the ministry. Oh, this is terrible. Everyone I send for disappears. There are powers at work here that are beyond my means to control.
Who are you?
I am Prefect Jitong. It is my duty to ensure that convicted criminals in the city are sentenced appropriately. But there are complications with my current trial. I have in my custody a suspected slave trader, Chandler Ling. But one of the high-ranking ministers is trying to get him released, and he wants me to convict another man. The man they want to accuse, Scholar Sun Tao, is a friend of mine, and I'm certain of his innocence. I need you to find proof so I can present it to the Minister of Justice.
Alright. Where should I start?
So, you'll help me? That's wonderful. All I need really is proof. Proof that Ling is indeed involved with the slave traders. If I can't prove Ling's guilt, I'll be forced to sentence Sung Tao to death. But every time I ask someone to discover the truth, they disappear or turn up dead. Our best lead is Zibao, the last person known to have spoken with Ling before his arrest. But Bao knows me and my men. He won't talk to us.
I want to know more about Scholar Sang Tao.
I've known Scholar Sung Tao for several years. His uncle and my father were good friends. I only wish I knew why the governor wants him accused of this crime. If you want to know more about Sung Tao, you should speak with him yourself.
Tell me about Chandler Ling.
Chandler Ling is a well-respected businessman and merchant here in the city. Until recently, I had no reason to suspect him of any wrongdoing. When I investigated Ling's shop, I found a valuable knife that I had purposely entrusted to one of my men, a man who has since disappeared. Chandler Ling had a knife belonging to a man whose body couldn't be found. That was all the evidence I required.
What is Zibao's connection to Chandler Ling?
I have no idea. The two men were seen together before we arrested Ling, but I have no other information about Zibao. He spends most of his time in the heart of the Empire Tavern, and he doesn't seem to have dealings with anyone else besides Chandler Ling. I know if I went to speak with him, I would get nowhere, but you could speak to him without raising suspicion.
Tell me about the slave traders.
I wish there was something concrete I could tell you. They're like a whisper on the wind or a shifting shadow. You think you see something, and then there's nothing. Whoever is behind the slavers must have a great deal of power. To remain that invisible is a hard thing to do.
I'll go find Zibao then.
Good. Look for him in the heart of the Empire Tavern. It's upstairs at the Imperial Arena. Don't scare him away. If we lose him, we lose our last connection to Ling.
Do we have time to deal with this? I didn't agree to join you so we could solve everyone else's problems.
You think you can free me? Prefect Jitong has sent many good men to their deaths trying to free me. I hope you won't get into similar trouble.
How do you know they're dead?
Well, that's what Jitong fears. I have no reason to doubt him. Besides, why else would the men not return and their belongings suddenly appear on the market?
Pure coincidence. It's not proof. It's purely circumstantial. Anyone will tell you that.
At any rate, it seems likely that's what has happened to the men. I feel terrible for them, but I have my own problems to deal with, as you can see.
Why were you arrested? What were you doing?
I don't know. I was just down in the poor quarters helping a family with some repairs on their hut. I was leaving their house when the guards came for me. They told me I was suspected of abducting people from the poor quarters. I told them it was ridiculous, that I only wanted to help the poor, but they didn't listen. I admit I spend time in the poor quarters, but I don't try to hide it. I'm there several times a week, in fact, usually in plain sight of everyone.
Well, I must be going. Goodbye for now.
I understand. If there's anything that might help you find the slave traders, I will gladly tell you. Please, don't give up until you've found them.
I don't know why you're wasting your time. I'm obviously innocent, and yet you still want to risk yourself needlessly.
Why are you so sure I'll be at risk?
I'm no fool. Those men haven't returned, and I can assure you it isn't because they've decided to take a holiday. Chasing after criminals is dangerous work. Obviously, there are risks involved. Why would you risk yourself when even the local minister seems content with the scholar's arrest?
Tell me about yourself, Chandler Ling.
What's to tell? I'm a merchant and quite a good one. My clients are usually very happy with my goods. You likely haven't heard of me simply because I have a very elite clientele. The average person on the street cannot afford the items I sell. Other than my occupation, I suspect we are very much the same, you and I. Though I happen to be a little more restricted than you at the moment.
Uh-huh. Why were you arrested? What were you doing?
Doing? I wasn't doing anything more than I usually do in a day's work. I was selling my wares to a few of my preferred clients. Prefect Jitong was one of them. The next thing I know, guards confiscate my goods and tell me I'm suspected of slave trading. It was likely the most ludicrous thing I've ever been told. Of course, the prefect claims that some of my items belong to his missing men, but that doesn't mean I took the items from their lifeless bodies.
How did you acquire these items belonging to Jitong's men?
In a given day, I meet with several buyers and probably twice as many sellers. There are always more sellers than buyers. My job is to determine whether something is worth buying, not whether the seller is worth buying from. If I see a bargain, I don't care who the seller is. Suffice to say, those items could be from any number of sellers. I don't recall who sold them to me, but that certainly doesn't make me guilty of slave trading.
I should be going.
Of course. Do what you need to. If you discover anything, it will only prove my innocence further. Good luck.
That's why my men brought you to me. I wanted to finish this personally.
But
Don't even try to make this better. You should have won that fight, Zhang, but you suddenly developed that blind spot, didn't you? Did the glint of silver get in your eye?
Joe, honestly,
You needed something for to witness one?
Yes, I need to speak with you in private. It seems Warrior Zhang has decided to retire.
I'm finished here. If you're here to fight, do what they tell you.
What just happened?
You couldn't see for yourself? I was just retired from the Imperial Arena. Guess my spot in the roster is yours if you want it. Go find Kui the promoter if you think you can fill my shoes. He's always upstairs in the third room over or so, and looking for new blood. I'm taking what I have left from my winnings and leaving.
Imperial champions, gaze upon these words with reverence, for they offer some small slice of the history of the most glorious contest in the arena. The Ravager, deadly, cold and precise. The Ravager refuses to speak and shows no care for the crowd, but none can question his deadly strength. Wildly popular with the more bloodthirsty members of our crowd, the Ravager's rare fights are always sold out. Raging Ox. How the Imperial City fondly remembers Raging Ox, our recently retired Imperial champion. Quick with a smile and famous for his antics both in and out of the ring, Ox legend will live many lifetimes. Kai Lan the Serpent. Kai Lan's phenomenal control over magic and his intense focus made him one of the greatest champions to grace the ring of the Imperial Arena. Cold and imperious, Kai Lan played to the crowd to cultivate a love-hate relationship that has persisted to this day.
Come, it's always good to see a new face at the counter. If you've got silver to spend, I'll be happy to help you out. I'm known as Thunderous Tauren, and you are my most honored customer right now, so you have all of my attention.
Tell me more about the arena.
The man to see is named Kui the Promoter. He knows everything there is to know about this place. Might even be looking for a new body to fill out the roster. This could be your chance. If you're interested, he's usually up in his office, up and around to the back.
Do you have anything I might be interested in?
You look like a warrior to my eye, probably not fit for the odds and sods the usual patrons might pick up.
Alright, that's all I need for now.
Stop by again. Miniature Ravager hoods for the kids are coming in any day now. You know you'll want two.
I don't have any kids though.
What could you possibly want? You're not here to bet, are you? Betting's only open when there's a match on, and right now, I don't see hundreds of people screaming at me, so I can assume there's no match on.
I'll let you get back to standing here.
Good, you do that. I need all the quiet I can get before the matches start. Have to build it up so I don't go insane when the crowds come.
There are rumors flitting about the city that you seek the attentions of the executioners. These rumors come from the palace itself, leaving me intrigued. You are a novice with no standing in the arena. What makes you think you are of any interest to me?
I'm the most skilled fighter here.
Then show it with your skills, not your mouth. Anyone can talk about their victories. I need people who let actions speak for them. If you were to knock Iron Soldier from his perch as Silver Division champion, I would be impressed. I will be here if you wish to petition me further, but I don't acknowledge anything less than the best. Return when you are worthy, and no sooner.
Dare you interrupt me?
It's impossible to interrupt someone who is doing nothing, fool.
If you must know, I, Lustful Lao, conqueror of the female kingdom, was emanating my yang.
Yeah.
It is but one of my many irresistible charms.
And what charms are those?
You don't see my brimming knowledge of the 232 points of pleasure as documented by Menshi Tsao, the salacious scholar? Or that I perform the stretches outlined in the writings of the now disbanded lascivious order of the abbotless monks every morning? If even these simple things are beyond your ken, sir, then Lustful Lao has no time to spare on you.
do you want? Do I know you?
No, but I know you, Zibao.
Really? Lots of people know me, so what? I'm a little busy right now. I've got a bowl of wine that needs drinking, so why don't you just find someone else to bother?
Ling told me you'd take me to see the slave traders.
Who? I don't know anybody by that name, and I don't know anything about slave traders. Leave me alone. I have nothing to say to you, so why don't you just keep moving?
Take me to the slavers, or I'll break your neck.
Look, you don't have to get that way. These guys are ruthless. I'm just looking out for myself. I hope they decide to kill you instead of me. Come on, I'll take you there now, but I can't promise you'll get a warm reception.
Zibao, what is the meaning of this? Summoning me to this place was bad enough. You know I can't stand the stench of these beasts. I've already dealt with the last shipment of slaves, and with that damned prefect poking into our affairs, we have to be extra cautious. Now, there's an unknown quantity in this little meeting. Just who are you?
I'm the one who will slaughter every one of you slavers.
Ha! Where have I heard that before? Oh yes, some fool working for Prefect Jitong made just such a claim moments before I gutted him with his own dagger. Get him, boys, but don't kill him. We'll get quite a bit of silver for this one.
Legendary strike! Longsword!
This has gone far enough. You're far better than the last dog who dared cross us. Maybe I was hasty in my decision to attack you. I have an eye for raw talent. That helps when picking slaves, but it comes in handy in sizing up potential allies. Who are you, and why are you here? You're clearly too skilled to be one of the fools hired by Prefect Jitong. So what business or grudge do you have with us?
I'm here to put an end to your slaving.
You're one of them, are you? Another fool like that scholar Song Tao, always thinking the poor are worth saving? You're better than that. You've just shown me your strength. Any poor wretch who had the discipline to fight like you wouldn't let themselves be enslaved. Someone like you deserves to work with me, not oppose me. I have a friend who could use your help, and I'm prepared to pay for it.
Are you done talking? I have a slaver to kill.
If only I had a silver coin for every time I've heard that. Come then, let's end it.
There you are. The governor sent Ho Chong, one of his lapdogs, to oversee the trial. I hope you learned something, or I'll have to proceed with Song Tao's sentencing.
I spoke with Zibao and he took me to the slavers.
He took you there? That's incredible. That's remarkable. Well, what did you find? Have you discovered evidence that exonerates Scholar Song Tao?
Yes, I have. It's right here. Take a look for yourself.
Ha! That doesn't prove a thing. Pieces of paper can be bought and sold just like anything. Just like anyone.
I'm afraid you're quite mistaken, Chandlerling. This proves a great many things, including your guilt. I never suspected the slavers were so well connected.
Let me see that. Well, this certainly looks
Interesting. Suppose Scholar Sung Tao can go free then. And you, Chandler Ling, will come with me for sentencing. It will be quick and harsh, I suspect. This sort of thing will not be tolerated in the Empire.
It's all a lie. You don't know what you're doing. You're all making a very big mistake.
Thank you. Thank you for risking yourself to help me. If there's anything I can do to repay you, please ask.
I'm just glad an innocent man didn't suffer.
You are too kind. I have no real way to repay you. However, I do have some items you might be interested in. They're not here, of course. Come and find me in the Scholar's Garden, and I will be glad to show you what I have. I'll see you there. Goodbye, and thank you again.
Well, at least that's out of the way. Now we need to find evidence of our own, unless you've forgotten completely about Death's Hand and my father.
Hannibal Cookbook, Volume 1. Valued customer, while we appreciate your business, the staff of the Heart of the Empire politely requests that you keep your nose out of ours. To assure that you will no longer wish to pry into our recipes, please enjoy this expert, recently unearthed in the south, leg of lamb. This hearty meal was first discovered after you lamb the hunter stumbled upon our community. For 5 to 10 people, use just one leg. The other can be pickled for later roasted slowly and smoked to preserve it. For larger groups, use both legs of an adult male or female. Boil the legs in a large pot for 2 hours with the following ingredients: 20 gallons of fresh water, 3 tablespoons of salt, half a cup of rosemary, 3 cups of spiced wine, summer wine is best if you can get it, 3 bags of onions, 4 whole garlic cloves, and a dash of ginger. When the legs have about half an hour left, add some skinned potatoes and leeks. Can be served on the bone or in steaks.
Sorry, big boy. I'm not open for business. Judge Fang's got me on his payroll, and he doesn't like me taking customers on the side. Unless you're into something twisted, then he might want to watch. Fang's always looking for some new perversion to make his little soldier stand at attention.
Were you?
My name is Gentle Breezes, but everyone just calls me Breezes now. I guess you lose your gentle side when you spend too many nights with Judge Fang. Fang's my benefactor, if you know what I mean. I do all the things that make him happy. Filthy, nasty things. But at least that sick bastard pays well.
You don't like Fang much, do you?
I hate him. He's a vile, repulsive deviant. He likes to hurt. When things are bad, a man like that leaves scars, emotional and physical. Look, I've been around. I know people do strange and disturbing things behind locked doors. But nothing like this. There's no act too brutal or shameful for Judge Fang. He's into all sorts of things, and he's no stranger to pain. I know that all too well.
Why do you work for him?
I've thought about quitting. Every night. But I heard what happened to the last girl who tried to leave Fang. He's not the kind of man you just walk away from. He sees me as a possession. His possession. He's not just going to let me go. He's got the wealth and power to find me wherever I run. I'm stuck with Judge Fang until he's tired of me. I've come to accept that. It's a hard, grim fact, but at least he pays well.
Tell me more about Judge Fang.
Fang's head of the Ministry of Harmony, so he controls taxes and executions across the Empire. That makes him a very rich and powerful man. Even the Lotus Assassins are wary of Judge Fang, probably because they know he's just as vile and corrupt as they are. All the rumors about him are true. He's the most infamous degenerate in the Imperial City. And I work for him.
I want you to help me get rid of Fang.
Get rid of him? What do you mean? Remove him from office, or something else?
I want to ruin his career.
Really? I was hoping you wanted to kill him. The world would be a better place with that disgusting pig dead and buried. But as much as I want to see his bloated corpse floating in the gutter, Fang is a dangerous man and he keeps my pockets lined with silver. I hope Fang gets what he deserves, but you'll have to do it without my help.
With Fang Gan, you can finally be free.
No. Even if I was willing to give up all that silver, if Fang finds out, he'll make sure I spend the rest of my days begging for death. It's not worth the risk.
Here's 900 silver if you help me.
Wow. That is a lot of silver. And I'd love to get out from under Fang's boot heel. I'll help you. You wanted Fang dead, right?
The Inquisitors prefer subtle solutions. Murdering a chief minister doesn't quite fall into that category.
No, I just want to ruin him.
It'd be easier to kill him. Fang's reputation is already as dirty as it can get. As long as it doesn't get in the way of his job, everybody just turns a blind eye.
There's got to be some way to bring him down.
Well, every document Judge Fang approves has to be stamped with his imperial ring. Losing the ring is a major offense. And if it was revealed he lost the ring during one of his sexual escapades, even Fang wouldn't want that to come out.
Bring me the ring and I'll blackmail him into resigning.
What are you doing here, Breezes? You know I don't like it when people see us together in public.
Don't be mad, my mighty and manly Fang. I was just hoping we could go upstairs for a bit. I've got a treat for you. Here's a hint. They're silk.
I'm surprised you're so eager after last night. I'm glad to see you're finally becoming more receptive to my special needs. Well done, Breezes. If a little tame for my tastes. I think tonight you should wear the blindfold. I have some interesting surprises in store for you.
I can hardly wait, oh great and virile Fang. Here's the ring. Fang will do anything to keep people from finding out he lost it to a whore, even if it means resigning his post. Show the ring to his guards and they'll let you through. I better disappear for a while, but make sure you tell him where you got it. He'll be sorry he ever touched me.
Oh, back up a bit there. Judge Fang doesn't like people blocking his view of the arena. Yeah, you might make him miss out on seeing someone get their nose broken, or their leg, or even their skull. He was just saying that there hasn't been a good skull fracture for at least a week. It's put him in a foul mood.
I've got Fang's Imperial ring.
How did you get... No, forget it. I don't want to know. You better go talk to Fang about that ring. Yeah, we don't want any part of this.
Do you mind? How can I enjoy the crack of bone, the screams of pain, and the glorious geysers of crimson blood down in the arena with you bothering me? Or are you here to offer me your services for later? I generally prefer women, but I might branch out if a handsome man like you is willing to beg.
Breezes gave me your Imperial ring.
My ring? But how... That harlot. I should have suspected something when she came to me willingly. Usually I have to command her presence. Well, it seems you have me in an awkward position. I can't let it be known that I was foolish enough to let a whore steal my ring. I would lose my position. So, what is it you want from me? Silver? An imperial posting? What?
You're going to step down, Fang.
Of course.
Now I understand. The Lotus Assassins are behind this, aren't they? I should have known something like this would happen. They tried to bend me to their will, but I'm not easily broken. Or so I thought. Are you proud of yourself? Bowing and scraping at the feet of your Lotus Assassin masters, helping them to bring me down?
Your own perversions brought this on you.
You think I'm an evil man, don't you? You think my soul is rotten and corrupt. But at least I have a soul. The same cannot be said for those you now serve. The Lotus Assassins destroyed me. But now that I am gone, I wonder where their attention will turn next. Keep a close watch over your shoulder, friend. My resignation is on the table. Take it and stamp it with my imperial ring yourself.
Yes, I appreciate the attention, but you have things to do. You've made arrangements to gain the trust of the Lotus Assassins, but haven't followed through. The Executioner wants to see you excel in the arena. Progress far enough, and he will gladly recommend that you be recruited. And the Inquisitor has a task for you as well. Appeasing one or the other will be enough for our purposes. The path is yours to choose.
Is there anything you want to discuss before I get moving? Anything personal?
I'm not sure we have the time. There are too many important matters at stake. We need to make progress before I will feel comfortable spending more time on idle chatter.
Alright, well.
I wish you luck. Once you have gained the trust of the Lotus Assassins, we will plan how to proceed.
Sa ir Yakowak, Kokonato Siri Panoniniku.
I have his resignation right here.
Wuno will na no ba irsu. Isana yuyo, ko nirpuk no sankut na no wana napir. Ipaner nuku iwa ir, nikasanarir, iruru ni nuasa ir kana. Usair Kokonato, Tanatir, Katanano, Shafatoyo, Kokonato Siri Panoniniku.
You honor me with this opportunity.
Ipaner nuku iwa ir, nikasanarir, iruru ni nuasa ir kana. Sata tawi ir, wanawa fukuno sukut nia awafawa ir sutuk. Usair Kokonato, Tanatir, Katanano, Shafatoyo, Kokonato Siri Panoniniku.
What can I expect when I arrive?
Unikasurir Kwanano Kuni Ugnawata ir, Niknipier. Irkana, Unikasurir Kwanano Kasair Iruru.
So, things are looking up. You've gained the favor of the Lotus Assassins. With the recommendation of the Inquisitor, the others will welcome you as a recruit. You can slip into the very heart of their lair. You could also go to the arena and seek the favor of the Executioner, but it isn't necessary now. A path to the Lotus Assassin Fortress is open.
And after we find the evidence against Death's hand, you will take us to the palace to find Master Li?
I promise, little Dawnstar. After we get what I want from the Lotus Assassins, the palace is the first place we will go. You have permission, so there won't be any trouble entering. It's only after we have the evidence against Death's hand that they might notice something is wrong.
We'll worry about that when the time comes.
It would still be good to get some information first. Sagacious Zoo might know something. We should ask him. Where is he?
Well, you should be more careful of who you trust.
If I did that, none of you would be here.
That is true. I wouldn't trust any of the ragged homeless you have collected. No offense meant to those of you who are actually homeless, Dawnstar. If Sagacious Zoo has gone to warn the Lotus Assassins, you need to move quick. If he's just run off, he is no longer our concern.
Zoo would not turn on us.
The Lotus Assassin Fortress is in the far end of the necropolis. They shouldn't give you any trouble. Just appear confident as you enter.
I'm going to do the task for the other recruiter first.
The executioner in the arena will want you to demonstrate your ability as a combatant. Finish with him and hurry back.
Is there anything you want to discuss before I get moving? Anything personal?
I don't understand. You've gained the favor of the Lotus Assassins with a fair amount of ease. What else is there to speak of? Is there something you are wondering?
Tell me about yourself. I want to know about you.
About me? I am Princess Sun Lian, the Heavenly Lily. What more are you worthy of knowing?
Tell me about your childhood.
I do not remember ever being allowed to just be a child. My mother died when I was born, shortly before the end of the long drought and the fall of my uncles. I was in the care of tutors too afraid to punish me and too ingratiating to teach me anything useful. I quickly found ways to sneak away from the palace. They dared not report my excursions for fear they would be punished. They would scurry around all day trying in vain to find me.
Isn't that a dangerous thing for a young girl to do?
Yes, it was. I didn't fully understand the risk and made some mistakes. But in the end, what I have become is a result of that. In the city, I met the people. The peasants, the homeless, the thieves. It was a much different world from what you see from the palace. They never realized who I was. I'm sure they would have been terrified of the army storming in to rescue me. Most just wanted to be left alone. That life was exciting, but also useful. Even Lotus Assassins overlook the beggar on the street, but she still has eyes and ears.
Tell me about Silk Fox.
Ah, the shadow behind my public self. How else can a curious princess learn what really happens in her domain? I don't have time to interpret the veiled statements of advisors, so I became a thief, an assassin, whatever I needed to be. People will not speak to the princess. Bad news kills the messenger first. Silk Fox knows how to persuade. That is how I learned about the activities of Death's Hand.
No one notices that you're gone for such lengthy periods?
There are many excuses for a vain princess to retreat from sight for days, even weeks at a time. My father encourages such getaways. And if courtiers ever discovered that I was not where I said I would be, who would dare question the Heavenly Lily? I may eschew the formality of it, but being the daughter of the Emperor still has its privileges.
Tell me about your time at court.
I do not like to speak about that. I try to avoid the court as much as possible. It is filled with sycophants pandering to the fancies of my father, with little or no concern to their own dignity. It is distasteful.
I think you would do well at court.
I can handle myself better than any of the fancy courtiers who attempt to match me. I know that someday the court will be mine to rule. When I succeed my father, there will be quite a cleaning out, but with Death's Hand manipulating him, that day seems less and less likely.
Tell me about your first love.
It would be very improper for someone of my standing to say anything, unless you make me a little more comfortable. I have already shared something of myself. Can you tell me something about you? Is there anyone that you care for?
Well, there is one person, a noble.
A noble. How romantic. Aloof, separate by class and breeding, unattainable for a peasant, normally. Wanting someone you can never have, love you can never show in public. Such loneliness should not exist. I have contributed to that. The princess behaves as she should, reinforcing the very rules I despise, all to protect Silk Fox. Which one am I?
You're Princess Sun Lian, but that does not mean you're any less deserving of being happy.
I should not be ungrateful. Everything in my life is dedicated solely to making me happy, but I am at odds with so much. I am always behind a mask, not just when I am Silk Fox. I am not allowed to show an interest in politics, defending the Empire, or even spontaneous affection. You were amusing at first, but now I am drawn further than I meant to be. What do you suppose I should do about that?
Tradition can be maintained without restraining people. As the Heavenly Lily, you can make certain of it.
I have tried to make a place for myself. It was difficult, but I have succeeded, despite Death's Hand or my father or what people think. The Jade Empire has had strong female leaders before. Most met with unfortunate ends. At critical junctures, they were abandoned. Whatever I decide, about the Empire or about you, can I count on you to be here?
Always.
You asked me about my first love. It was the Empire and its people. There might be room for another, given time and effort. I don't think I will shatter any grand conventions of the Empire by courting outside the list of pockmarked nephews of statesmen. You and I will have much to discuss after we have restored my father. I am looking forward to it.
We should get going.
Do not hesitate for too long. Sagacious Zoo's sudden flight has made our task somewhat more urgent.